Play ball! 222.
You are watching Sports and Sorts live on YouTube. That's 75% sports, 25% sorts. And here are your hosts, Shane and the Bry Man.
Get in the hole.
That was very lackluster by you today. I'm just making sure that we're live. We are live. Okay, great. This is Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Bry Man. I am Shane.
I'm the Bry Man.
And we are live on YouTube. We go live every Monday and Friday around 10-ish.
Happy Valentine's Day, y'all.
Happy V-Day, baby. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Would
you be my bearded Valentine?
Hallmark holiday. Yes, I will.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you give me some eye contact, though? Thanks. I appreciate that.
You remind me of my wife. I'm sorry. Well,
you all right,
Deadpool. Buddy? That's from Deadpool too. What is he? He's like Cable's in there, and he sees he's meeting with Deadpool because they're he's like, I need your help, because you unleash the Juggernaut, and he's applying the lip balm, and he's like, you remind me of my wife, and Ryan Reynolds goes, I'm sorry. He goes, I'm sorry. He said, "You remind me." He's no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you. I'm sorry that you said that while applying lip balm and making heavy eye contact.
Deadpool's great. I love Ryan Reynolds. Speaking of Deadpool, you know what I just found out? Chad Davis. He was on our podcast a long time ago on the Cinebros when we did a movie podcast. That was we did for years. Had a lot of videos put up, and he just notified me on Facebook that our Deadpool trip to the movie theater, I think it was Deadpool, trip to the movie theater, watching it and everything like that, got taken down. I think it was the Deadpool 2. No, Deadpool 1. I think it was that.
Okay.
Got taken down by YouTube, and I'm not really sure why. So I'm going to check into that a little bit later because there's a lot of videos still up online. They have, hundreds of views and all that kind of stuff. It was a pretty popular podcast. Unfortunately, we weren't able to continue it when I moved to a different town and a different house, different setup. So we had to condense, and then we switched over to sports. And we still talk movies, but it's fun. But we have a lot to talk about today. And it's a MLB heavy show. So if you don't like the MLB, we'll be back on Monday. We will probably be talking mostly MLB when it comes to sports today. There's a lot of MLB stuff. We have Trevor Bauer, who I don't really care for. You're kind of ambivalent. Like, you don't really care for him, or
I think he's a talented pitcher, but I think he's
needs to keep his mouth shut.
I think he's a whack nut.
Okay, so he went pretty much crazy, bananas. He went a little bananas on the MLB on a video, about 2 minutes long. Just went on this crazy rant, and we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about what our thoughts are on it, and if he's right or not. We will also get into Carlos Beltran's involvement behind the Astros scandal, and we will follow that up with the Astros Apology, because we want to talk about all that and our feelings on that. And then we'll get into later on, Brian will have his Funko Friday. We will also talk a little Stranger Things trailer. There was a teaser that came out. Brian watches that show. I do not. And we'll talk about the Sonic the Hedgehog early reviews. And you might be surprised, or maybe not surprised, on what the people are saying so far. All right, so let's get into, right off the top, some Major League Baseball news, because I think that is the most prevalent thing. And we will start off with Carlos Beltran and his involvement behind this whole cheating scandal, and to the point of where AJ Hinch said he felt like he was an unstoppable force and he couldn't even do anything about it, which is the biggest. This is not suitable for kids.
Unemployed.
This is not suitable for kids. This show is not suitable for kids. Yep. That was the biggest bitch move of all time. You do not say that. If you are a manager and you say that, you are no longer going to be employed. You should not be ahead of any franchise. That you take responsibility. You didn't do anything. You didn't confront him enough. You didn't put your foot down. You are the manager. You are the head of those guys. Stop being a punk. That is such a bitch move. Such a bitch move.
There's a reason why that guy is unemployed. And this is it, because he did not show or provide leadership when it was needed most.
Grow a spine.
I mean, look, here's what I don't understand. Since when is a player? I mean, I don't care if Carlos Beltran is a veteran and he's well respected.
He was a Hall of Fame track. I mean, now this is going.
Oh, it's all over.
This is going to destroy him. But
he's already he should never be employed in baseball again. He's coming off in this thing like the Godfather. Mm-hmm. Like he's the Godfather of this shit. And for whatever reason, he was somehow feared. I mean, he was the ringleader of this. He seems like he was the mastermind behind all of it, and Cora was kind of like his second lieutenant.
And I said this. I've been saying from the get-go, like, it seems like Carlos Beltran, because of all the stuff, the little things that were popping up, it seemed like he might have been the mastermind. And we always knew that he was a brilliant mind as far as picking up signs and finding ways to kind of get an advantage. We didn't know it was going to go this crazy.
No.
But
this is, and it's too bad, because, listen, Carlos Beltran, I think, represented himself well when he was with the Yankees, albeit, briefly.
He represented himself well everywhere. Apparently,
he did.
In face-to-face.
Imagine being him and going from being as well respected as he was to now being essentially a pariah.
Yeah.
An unemployable pariah too. Like how would you bring that guy into your organization, into your clubhouse, into your locker room, around your play? I wouldn't go near him. I'd probably be slightly more inclined to bring AJ Hinch into my locker room than I would Beltran. Yeah. And when I say that, that's saying that with the knowledge of knowing I would never hire AJ Hinch under any circumstances whatsoever. Right. So Carlos Beltran, to me, and I think Cora, I think they're both persona non grata in baseball. I really do. I mean, now I do think Hinch will eventually get a job, and I do think Cora, depending on, yes, he was fired, but we still don't know what Major League Baseball's punishment is for him yet. I suspect it's at least what Hinch's was, and maybe worse. Mm. So if he's gone for 2 years, and here's the other problem too, though. If you're gone for 1 year, okay, it's not too bad. You're banned for 1 year. I mean, your name isn't completely forgotten. If you're gone for a couple of years, though, I mean, I'm not saying that there wouldn't be an opening at that time. Of course, we all know there's always at least a handful of openings in Major League Baseball pretty much every year. Mm-hmm. But, hey, at some point, teams will weigh the risk versus the reward, and they'll just say, it's not worth it. And, I don't know that he's that much of an upgrade over what we have or other guys that we could bring in, I mean, it's basically like you're putting the pause button on a guy like that, and you're allowing other younger guys from other organizations to step up and be ready to manage. And then next thing you know, guys like Cora have more competition, and he's been out of the game and he's tarnished. But as far as Beltran goes, what a terrible kind of fall from grace for him, because he really was, he was really well respected, borderline adored.
He was a guarantee Hall of Famer. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah.
This is going to...
You could stick a fork in all that shit.
I mean, I can't say that he's not going to get in with time. Time heals most wounds. This would be his second chance. Do I think he could get a second chance? It's unlikely, but there's probably still a window. There will be another door that opens. He might have to start at a very low level, like maybe a junior college or something like that, and work his way back up. Yeah. But he has a window. He doesn't need to work. He needs to fight for it if he really wants it. I don't know if he's ever going to get it again, but there is a window. And to be honest, I am actually, I wouldn't say more. I would say I am equally angry at AJ Hinch.
AJ Hinch is a fucking bitch.
I've
got no sympathy for him. Oh, he's totally spineless. First of all,
spineless.
I wanted to ring.
And I would never
have
thought of that about him. But if he came out and said that, spineless. You do not deserve to be a manager, a leader of any team.
First of all, if you watched his Tom Verducci interview, I thought that shit was cringeworthy, and I thought Verducci was a little too easy on him. And now
They
there was
always are. Every
one
interviewer
point-
always is.
They are, yeah, and I don't know why. Like, why are these guys afraid?
Because if they go crazy on them, they're not going to go to the interview, and they want the interview, so they can make sure that they.
No, but once you've got the guy in front of you, I mean, the worst thing the guy could do is pull his headset off or take the microphone off his shirt and walk away.
Right, and they don't want
that.
that.
As an Astros player, they should be used to ripping, microphones or buzzers off of their jerseys. I mean, that's
it's a big
acceptable thing.
It's a big business, and they want to keep getting those interviews, and they're not going to get them if they do stuff like that.
I don't know. I mean, Michael Kay completely trashed AJ Hinch yesterday, and he's been
Face to
trashed
face,
a bunch
though?
of guys. No, not face to face, but I mean,
yeah.
but
You've seen it a bunch of times. Michael Kay will sit
come
there
on,
and
these guys all find this stuff out though.
Michael Kay, Mike Francesca, all these guys, they always come out. They trash. They just totally destroy these people. Then they get the guy on an interview. They ask one tough question, and then they kind of just pander to the guy. Always.
I think that depends. I think that depends. I don't necessarily feel that way. I watch a lot of Michael Kay. I've actually been kind of impressed with him lately, especially he's had guys, and actually I remember when they had James Dolan in studio and they railed James Dolan. I mean, they went hard after him, and I was actually very impressed
because that was hated, though. There's not a single person that likes him.
That's true, but I mean, you have to admit, though, that guy is in New York. He owns the Knicks and the Rangers, and you're a New York-based radio station, and you have him in your studio, and they went after him. I was pretty impressed with that. I actually like Michael Kay. Francesa, I can't stand, but he's done though. But I think one of the things that drove me nuts about that interview, though, was Verducci asks him, did you wear buzzers? And Hinch does not even answer the question. He just starts to talk about how Major League Baseball conducted a thorough investigation, and the nature of the investigation was, really in depth. And he never answered the question. And then Tom Verducci did not ask a follow-up. He didn't say, oh, hey, AJ, let's get back to the question. Did your players wear buzzers? That's all you got to do. That's not that hard.
Nope.
I'm sorry. That's not a hard thing to do. So he let AJ off the hook. Now that brings us, I think, this segues, I think, into yesterday's absolute motherfucking debacle. The Astros. Oh my God.
Are you talking about the apology?
Let me play the apology.
I'll play a little clip.
Yes, please.
This is a 40-second clip of Jose Altuve.
Oh God, here we go.
Thank you, Jen, and thank you, Alex. I also will be brief. We had a great team meeting last night, and I want to say that the whole Astros organization and the team feels bad about what happened in 2017. We especially feel remorse for the impact in our fans and the game of baseball. And our team is determined to move forward, to play with intensity, and to bring back a championship to Houston in 2020.
That's what he said, and that is, I don't know if it's a language issue or what. He seemed extremely nervous. He should have been. Should he have seemed actually remorseful? Yes. He should have been making eye contact with the crowd and actually being like, I am so incredibly sorry for what happened. This is so unfortunate. We promise we will be the utmost, best character on the face of the earth. We will be completely open and honest about everything. We are so sorry. Please forgive us. That's not what he did. We are remorseful. We are sad, but we're going to come back and fight with intensity. Like, no. Nope. You need to apologize for your actions and be a little heartfelt about it.
I'll tell you what.
Even if you're acting and you couldn't squeeze out a tear, fine. But at least act like you're remorseful. It's crazy.
Him and Bregman.
I am kind of with you. You've been on Jose Altuve, calling him kind of a shady piece of crap for a long time.
I've just never liked it.
This right here did not do anything for me. This was a very poor apology.
I have never liked him I really can't stand Bregman either. I actually might hate Bregman even more, and that's saying something. The way the Astros have conducted themselves throughout this whole thing is just it's just heinous. I mean, they would have been better off not holding this press conference. So first of all, their owner, Jim Crane, who, a lot of people thought at the beginning did the right thing by firing Lunau and firing Hinch. Now he's actually kind of looking like a clown too, and actually even worse, because he comes out there, okay, and he's out there, and he's like, within one question, he says, "Well, I don't think any of this stuff really made an impact or helped." 55 seconds later, he literally within a minute, he changes his tune. It says the complete opposite, because one of the reporters, who I think actually was an ESPN radio reporter, she asks him, like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean this didn't? You're saying that all this sign stealing and that this didn't impact games? And he's like, well, I'm not saying it didn't impact games, but that was literally what he said 55 seconds earlier. So he contradicted himself within less than a minute. I'm pretty sure it was literally 55 seconds between it didn't impact games and I'm not saying it didn't impact games. Listen. So yesterday, actually, I think on actually the Michael Kay show, I believe they had Tim Anderson, the shortstop for the reigning batting champion shortstop, actually, for the Chicago White Sox. He was on, and they asked him point blank. They're like, Tim, if you knew what pitch was coming, would that give you an advantage? And he was like, well, yeah, of course. He's like, it's like, if I knew a fastball was coming, he's like, I'd be able to square it up. I mean, and that's coming from the American League batting champion. Okay. Uh-huh. The guy who hit for the best average in Major League Baseball. And as far as we know, Tim Anderson.
Tim Anderson. Oh, yeah.
White Sox shortstop.
Yeah.
White Sox shortstop.
Yes.
So, I mean, come on, this shit impacted the game. It's like saying that steroids didn't impact the game. I mean, look, I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but here's what I've always said about steroids, right? Steroids will take a good player and make him great, a great player make him a Hall of Famer, and an average player make him good. And I mean, if you look at, and there are so many examples of that. Look at Melky Cabrera. Listen, okay, we all liked Melky Cabrera, but Melky Cabrera was an average player with the Yankees, okay? He moves on. He starts taking steroids. He goes from average player to really good player to actually like competing for batting title and like being in an MVP conversation. Mm-hmm. Okay. You take a great player like Barry Bonds and you put him on steroids and he becomes the all-time home run king, which is something he would not have accomplished without it. Yep. He would not have. He was not that guy. He was a 30-30 guy. He wasn't a 50-30 guy. He was never that. And then he took steroids, he blew up into a Zeppelin, and he started hitting more dingers than he had ever done before, like doubling. He was doubling his home run numbers. Steroids made an impact. This had an impact. In 2017, who won the World Series? The Houston Astros. It was in that year that all of this theoretically started, and that's when they won a championship. If in fact the Red Sox were found guilty of having done any of this stuff, the Red Sox, who won the World Series in 2018? The Boston Red Sox, while this was apparently all going on. This is not a coincidence. It's just not. And listen, if we find out, and I would not be shocked, and this is why I've kind of gone a little easy on the Red Sox, because first of all, we don't know the extent to what they were doing just yet. We have to see what this Major League Baseball investigation turns out. But the reason why I'm kind of backing off the Red Sox is because I'm worried that in 2019, last year, that the Yankees might have been up to some shit. Because as I've said, these last few episodes as we've been talking about this stuff, The one thing that worries me about the Yankees is that they won 103 games. They had the most injuries of any team in the history of professional sports with over 30 guys on the IL, and they won 103 games and won the American League East and damn near won a pennant. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about any of this. But the bottom line is, we know the Astros were doing this in 2017, okay? And they won the World Series. We know that almost certainly the Red Sox were doing it in 2018, and they won the World Series. I'm sorry that I've always said I'm not a big believer in coincidence. And I mean, and if you look at the home road splits from those Astros teams in 2017 through the playoffs, it's like a totally different team. And you, Shane, of all people, should actually be very, very pissed about this, because there's one guy that I know you love as a pitcher, and his name is Clayton Kershaw. Mm-hmm. And a lot of Clayton Kershaw's really piss-poor playoff reputation is because he went into the World Series in Houston and got his ass handed to him. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the very, very big reasons in that World Series why his playoff reputation is what it is today. Because in that same series, in LA, when he pitched against Houston, he pitched really well. It was night and day. Clayton Kershaw is a future first ballot Hall of Famer. Now listen, I'm not saying that future first ballot Hall of Fame pitchers can't have bad playoff games. Of course they can.
Of course not.
Of course. I mean, but the difference between what has happened in Minute Maid Park versus what has happened for that team on the road is ridiculous. It's crazy. I'm sorry. What they were doing worked. It worked. I don't even think it's debatable. I think you'd have a hard time making the other argument. Here's the thing that I hate so much too about cheating organizations. If you're going to cheat and you're going to get caught, say we did it because it helped us. Don't sit there and say, well, yeah, we did it, but it didn't really make a difference. Well, then why the fuck did you do it?
Why did you keep doing it
and
for years?
I mean, this is the one question that I always never understood why reporters just didn't go after Bill Belichick about. Because Belichick did once say in an interview, well, it didn't really make much of a difference. It did make a difference, Bill. Well, then why do it? Why do it and get caught? I'm sorry, but the reason why you do that stuff is because it does make a difference. Mm-hmm. Listen.
Yeah, I don't think it can help that much, but apparently a lot of the people on that organization did feel it could help a lot, because you wouldn't do it for 2 years if you didn't think it was going to help you.
And also,
it wouldn't help me because I can't focus on one pitch, even though I know what it's coming, because I'm not 100% sure that it's coming. Like I need to react. I needed more to react. And I was kind of an outlier in that. I needed to react to the pitch more than focus on one pitch. It was just one of those things that I didn't trust the information that was coming around me.
There's one other thing. So first of all, just in general, what the Astros attempted to do yesterday was the biggest sham. It was such bullshit. That was the most. I wouldn't even say they half-assed that. They 1/8 assed that yesterday. That was one of the most piss-poor attempts I've ever seen at an apology. You'd have been better off just doing nothing, not showing up, shutting your mouths, because you all came off like clowns. And even the one guy who seemed kind of remorseful in Carlos Correa, let's remember what Carlos Correa did. Go back to the postseason, I think either last year or I don't remember if it was last year or 2017. But when the first, some of the first reports of this stuff had started coming out in the postseason, he was asked about that by a reporter, like, oh, hey, anything about whistling or, whatever shit was going on. And Carlos Correa laughed it off, completely laughed it off. And now he's offering a sincere apology, but he laughed it off then. I'm sorry, I don't buy any of these guys. Actually, I think the only guy who has maybe shown some genuine contrition is Marwin Gonzalez, who is now on the Twins. And you know what? I'm going to point a finger at Garrett Cole yesterday too, because Garrett Cole, he was asked about all this yesterday, and I don't think he acquitted himself very well. he was kind of like, well, I'm a pitcher and we didn't really know what was going on. Oh, fuck you. Come on, Garrett Cole.
Stupid.
You fucking knew everything. That's why I think this stuff is worse than PEDs, because the whole team is in on this. I'm sorry. Just because you're a pitcher and you're not the one stealing the signs, you're guilty by association. Sorry, you are. And
I understand why he said what he did. He's in a new organization. He doesn't want to think that he's going to throw everybody under the bus and stuff like that. But
of course,
still,
of course,
you can sound remorseful. You can be like, yeah, what they did was wrong. I probably should have said something.
What we did at the time was wrong. Yes. And I
you know what? I should have said something and I didn't.
Yeah,
so,
right.
That's on me, and I will make sure that I don't do that going forward.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I wish I don't really know. He's like, I can't really, I wish I could elaborate more for you. I mean, you could, but you're choosing not to because you're trying to protect your old team.
Because you'll get sued by the Astros or whatever. Like it's such a big business, and it's a big cover-up scandal, and and so I wanted to also get into, because we're hammering on them quite a bit, but like, you had something that popped up right after we did our show last week, and it was the playoff move to do something different in the playoffs. We might change the playoff scenario here. And we're getting to Trevor Bauer's reaction time.
The great MLB smokescreen.
And that's what you said. And I kind of laughed. I'm like, that is kind of what they're doing. It's a lame attempt, but yeah, it's kind of what they're doing. Like, they have been probably talking about this, but they never, ever would have released it to the public if this crap wasn't going on. Like, there's no way.
No.
And they did. And then you sent a text right after I sent. I was like, I can't believe this popped up now, right after our show. Like, oh, that sucks that we couldn't talk about it. And you're like, it's such a smokescreen for what's going on right now with the Astros and everything. And you're like, and I was like,
it is. Yeah. But I want to get back to one big thing because honestly, there's one other guy that we're leaving out of here on the Astros, if you want to call it the Astros scumbagometer. I mean, listen, I think Altuve and Bregman are right at the top, but I think the number one guy is Justin Verlander. And you're probably thinking, well, why Justin Verlander? He's a pitcher, and he really probably wasn't really, but he wasn't certainly
he's a veteran
on that end. But you know what Justin Verlander is? Justin Verlander, throughout his entire career, has always called people out. He's always been a big mouth. He's always when what was it when Osuna was after that whole domestic violence thing, which was horrible, he hated him. Oh, and then the Astros signed him. Mm-hmm. Justin Verlander was nowhere to be found. Mm-hmm. Gone. Left off the reservation, went AWOL. No Justin Verlander. Where are you, buddy? Where'd you go? I hate Justin Verlander. The only slightly redeeming quality about that asshole is his hot wife. Other than that, and she's probably a fucking bitch too.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, let's be honest. To be married to a fucking guy like that, you've got to be a special kind of piece of shit to marry that asshole. That guy is such a fucking scumbag. Because you know what? Where were you, Justin Verlander? Your whole team has been implicated in all this shit. You have been the most outspoken individual in Major League Baseball, maybe since Curt Schilling. And where are you right now when everybody should be hearing from you? Your mouth zipped up.
Yep.
Like fucking Morton Downey Jr. Zip it. That's an old school reference right there for you kids. Go look that one up.
The only one that's going to get that one is Stick, Joe Pacino.
Yeah, Joe definitely loved that reference. He probably loved Morton Downey Jr. That was probably like
that's right up his alley. Yeah.
That was like I would say Ronald Reagan and Morton Downey Jr.
Chain smoking.
Chain smoking. But I mean, but holy shit, Justin Verlander, gone. Like, this guy, you can't normally shut him up. You put a microphone in his face and he's like, give me a few more. I need a few more of these things.
Yeah.
Now, nowhere to be found. I can't see him.
Yeah, that's like one of those things that you walk into the office as soon as you find out about it, you're like, I gotta get out of here. Trade me. Like, I'm gonna say something or you trade me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what you should do. But I don't know.
But you know what that says?
It's a bad situation.
You know what that says about, what does that say? I mean, what does that say to you about Justin Verlander? I think he's a coward. That's what I think.
It seems to me like, I don't know what was being done or said by the upper management or by these other players or what. I don't know what was going on, but obviously these premier guys, these guys that have the Garrett Coles of the world, the Verlanders of the world, the AJ Hinches of the world, these guys who had some clout, for some reason were scared to say something based on, whatever. I don't know what the deal is.
I don't understand.
They did not do it, and they either didn't think it was that bad, or I don't know. It's just a really, really bad situation, and it sucks. Really sucks.
I just don't understand, why is there such an issue in sports with lack of accountability? Like, look, you got caught. Okay, you got caught red-handed. Major League Baseball conducted a thorough investigation, and you got caught. Mm-hmm. I mean, just fucking own it. Own it. And I say this to the Patriots too. Just own it, because it does you absolutely no good not to. I'm sorry, it just doesn't do you any good not to own this shit. You just come off looking bad. The Patriots have looked bad, and regardless of all the championships they've won, no matter what, that's going to hang over that Patriots dynasty forever, because that's part of the legacy of this. And now the Houston Astros, same thing. The only thing else that could have happened with the Astros, which didn't happen, was they could have taken their championship, which I don't know. I go back and forth on that. I kind of wish they did, because I certainly would have sent a message, but then I'm almost kind of thinking well, I don't know what good it would have done. The bottom line is they've had their parade. They've got their rings. You could take the trophy from them and wipe it from the history books, but
if you take the trophy, the rings don't mean anything. They really don't.
It's true. They're almost like eBay things that you should hawk.
And they would. And you know what? They'd probably be worth more money.
Maybe.
Because it's like a Black Sox scandal kind of deal back in the day.
Yes.
And if they got their rings and were able to hawk them in a modern time era,
yeah,
because it's just like the baseball cards that had the Billy Ripken bat that said FU on it or whatever.
Yes.
And there was 10 in the world.
Yeah.
It was a mistake. And that's why everybody thought it was great. For
a while, that card was worth some serious
lot of money.
Yeah, now you can get it on eBay for nothing. But
yeah,
I actually had one. I had one of them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
that's sweet.
I probably have it somewhere.
That's a good talking piece right there. That's a good.
No,
one.
it's.
All right, so that's pretty much it for that on the MLB and everything like that. But yeah, it's been a very interesting week in baseball. And now we're going to get a switch over, because we were talking about how the playoff rules and stuff got out there. The new possible playoff rules / distraction. And I have another clip. This is a 2-minute clip. This is a big time rant. Some people liked it. Some people didn't. Some people thought he's crazy. I think a lot of people think he's a little nuts, but I will say, give it a listen and let us hear what you think. And we're going to just play the clip right now.
And on top of that, they can't even go to Twitter, where all the young people hang out. You can't even go to social media and see anything about the game. Steph Curry throws a bounce pass in an NBA game, and it's trending with 1.5 million views 5 minutes later, and Mike Trout goes and launches himself and robs a homer or something, and you can't find the highlight anywhere online.
That's true.
It's ridiculous. You got BAM, that Baseball Advanced Media, that was designed to just centralize all MLB content and force people to pay to have access to it. Great, you made a lot of money up front, but you centralize all this content, you make people pay for it, and you know what you get? You get a missing generation of fans. You make some money up front, great, and you miss a generation of fans, and the game is losing popularity, and especially amongst young people. Let's not even talk about the shoes, the cleats. Oh, hey, Mike Clevenger, you can't wear those shoes that are colorful that everybody on Twitter likes, because it violates our stupid cleat policy where you get 3 colors of cleats. What does it even matter? Just let the players express themselves. Let it have some personality. You want to market the game? Don't change it. Don't make the mound 62 feet. Don't make playoffs where you have to pick your opponent and freaking whatever. Don't change the game. Market the players. You have more players in baseball than any other league, with much more diverse backgrounds worldwide. more so than any of the other major American sports. And it's the least marketable. It's because you make stupid decisions about how you market the players. You don't open it up. Let content go. Get it out there. Quit with this stupid cleat policy, the stupid BAM policy, blackouts all over the place. Like, and that's just dealing with content that we already have available. Like, where's the innovation in content? Like, where's the next thing that's going to draw fans in? Like, who's innovating? Who's creating something new? Who's trying to identify with the young fans?
So that is his clip.
He's such a fucking nutcase.
He is. I will say he's absolutely crazy. He is a guy that I just can't stand. I don't like him on Twitter. I don't like it. But I will say, a person that I don't like, I have to agree with a lot that he said. I think MLB does a really bad job of marketing their team because, especially on social media, you have these guys who are making these phenomenal plays, and I have done it. I have wanted to look and see and find these plays, and it's almost impossible to find them. I want them. I want to look at them before I do the show. I want to do that, and you can't find them anywhere. And I'm not going to spend money on band because it's not that important. It's not that important to find these clips because you're going to get to see stuff like that in real life or in live in the game when you're watching it at the stadium. You're going to get to see stuff like that live on TV when you're watching it at home. But you don't he's 100% true. Steph Curry throws a bounce pass, has 5 million views. It's because the NBA has their own YouTube channel and they post a clip about every player all the time. They do a great job marketing their team socially. And you got to do that. You have to do that now. Social media is more important than ever. When it comes to marketing your business, marketing your whatever, yourself, you have to get on Instagram. You have to get on YouTube. You have to get on Twitter. Facebook is losing steam, but it's still very popular among the 40 and older group. Right. So there's a lot to be gained from social media. You need to start doing stuff like that. I am 100% on board with him there. The cleats rule, I think, is also stupid. I understand they sign contracts and all that stuff, but you gotta, and the NFL is guilty of this as well. You gotta let the people just be themselves. Let them be comfortable out there. You let them be comfortable, they'll probably perform better at a higher level.
Yeah, actually, Tim Anderson talked about this yesterday,
and they'll be more marketable too, because you'll be showing your personality. Like, look at all the NBA shoes that are out there. Look at all these people with the NBA shoes and their contracts and stuff like that. They sell so many shoes. You got to come up and let these guys be themselves to help them be more marketable. They are really losing a younger generation of baseball fans. They really are. My son is not excited to play baseball. He doesn't play. He's playing golf because golf actually does a better job of marketing to younger groups.
Yep.
And they're not even good at it. They're not even that good at it.
Right.
It's really sad. It really is. But what they really need to do. Like, I mean, you look at Bubba Watson. Look at him. Look at his shaft. He has the pink shaft. Everybody, that is showing his personality and his character. Shut up. Shaft on his driver.
You cannot say shaft around me.
His one wood
provokes my envy.
He's got pink on his one wood.
I think he needs to go to the doctor. That doesn't sound right.
So anyway, you can show your personality through your equipment that you use and through everything else. You gotta start marketing more towards a younger group, and it's very frustrating for fans that have grown up loving baseball, like me and you, and we still love baseball. It's been tougher. It's been a lot tougher over the last year to love it because of all this scandal and stuff that's going on. We had to go through it in the 90s, late 90s with the steroid stuff. And that was really rough and tough to get through.
Right.
But so if you're going to do something, go ahead. Change the playoffs system a little bit. That's fine. I don't care. People are going to it might make it more interesting. It might not. I like the wild card stuff. I think that's good. I used to like picking home field at the All-Star game because I felt like it made them play harder. It made them kind of try and win the game. And you didn't have to get to see the guy from Tampa who had to get on the great game, had to get in because he was selected because he was the best player on the Tampa Bay Rays. Like, I didn't like that. I want to see the best of the best play against each other. And if they can't make it because of rest or injuries and stuff, that's fine. I want to see stuff like that. I like competitive baseball. I like competitive sports.
So, somewhere within the Trevor Bauer psychobabble was a valid point.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And Tim Anderson also was asked this question yesterday too by Michael Kay, and he talked about how, because he said he last year kind of famously said baseball is boring, and he's like, well, I stand by that comment because he's like, if you think about things like, and I'm not a big listener.
It's not the game. The game's not boring. It's what surrounds the game that's boring.
Yeah. And yes, and I will say, that is one area. Basketball is superior at marketing its stars.
Oh yeah.
And that, I believe a lot of that started with the late great David Stern, who was
you
all
put a
about
hashtag
marketing.
LeBron or a hashtag Curry or Steph Curry 3 or something like that. You do that, you'll guaranteed to get more views.
What's funny, and I know this is obviously old news, the passing of David Stern, but his legacy will be so tremendous, well beyond this time, because what people forget is that it wasn't just Magic and Larry who saved the NBA. It was David Stern. It was Magic, Larry, and David Stern. And I'm not like, you really don't even throw Jordan in on that. Jordan was there. Jordan
to another level.
What Jordan was a byproduct in many ways of David Stern's brilliance in marketing individual players, because he's like, okay, this guy's clearly the best player in the NBA and may end up being the greatest player ever, so we're going to completely build our product around him. Jordan was really a right guy at the right time. But it was David Stern with Magic and Larry that really revitalized the NBA, which was borderline on life support at that point. And he breathed life into that because he knew how to market individual players. He built his product around those players. Baseball does not do that. Now,
and I think baseball, how baseball doesn't do a good job marketing their players and marketing their game is because you get into the middle of the baseball season. You get in the middle of the baseball season, beginning, end, wherever you want to do it, and except for the playoffs. But the middle, beginning, and end of baseball, you go and listen to any talk show outside of New York and maybe LA. You go there and you will get some baseball stuff. I'm talking like stuff that's on TV.
Yeah.
You maybe not even in LA. They won't even talk about baseball. They'll spend 5 minutes, and the rest of the 25 minutes that they're there, they're talking NBA. They're talking about NBA trades. They're talking about the NFL preseason, the draft, all that kind of stuff that they're talking about.
Especially now with the Lakers being like 41-12.
Right. They just talk about, like, even the Astros scandal isn't even blowing up as huge as it should.
Well, especially because the Dodgers even more than the Yankees, the Dodgers should feel like the most cheated team out of all of this.
Yes.
I mean, they back-to-back years in 17 and 18, they lost World Series
the MLB
to these champions who supposedly cheated.
The MLB does more reactionary bull than anything else. They try and cover up stuff, and they try and swipe things under the rug by putting these smoke screens out like the MLB, like the playoff change that they're potentially going to do.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff is stupid. Just go out, market your players, market the players that are good and that are honest and all that kind of stuff. And I know that's tough. You can't always figure that out until sometimes hindsight. But then when you do, own up to it and move on.
Right.
Like, it's not that difficult to do this. Like, come on, guys. Like, I market the players. Like, I want to see Mike Trout robbing home runs and hitting bombs and stuff like that. I don't want to have to stay up till, 11 or 12 o'clock at night. Or get up bright and early the next morning to watch the MLB to finally see Heidi Watney talk about the home run. I have to wait for a half hour to see the home run. I want to go on YouTube. I want to find the clip, separate in the MLB network, separate the clips, every single clip of Heidi Watney breaking down each game, and just separate those.
I just want to see clips. I just want to see clips of Heidi Watney. I mean, come on, let's be honest. That's a.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like, you just need to
Heidi
break
Watney.
it up. They need to break stuff up and put them out on YouTube and really pump pump up the players and the team, all that stuff. It's so aggravating that they don't do that. And even the individual teams, start your own YouTube channels or something and make it good. Like break up clips all the time. You can follow them on Twitter and stuff like that, but then you have to follow like each individual play. Like, no, just do it. Jeez, it's aggravating. Man,
you're making some salient points. I'm going to make one too. Do you think that the Yankees could replace Meredith Marakovitz with Heidi Watney? I mean, I know she's kind of working for like MLB Network now, right? So she's probably like a bigger job theoretically. But I mean, come on, working for the Yankees?
I would say it is a bigger title because she has her own show.
Yeah.
But
can we just get her somehow with the? I mean, can't Hal just throw an exorbitant amount of money at her
and give her own show? She would have to get her own show.
Yes, give her as much exposure as humanly possible, please.
I don't think she wants to be an on-field reporter though on a regular basis.
No, not anymore. I think those days are past. I mean, that's how she.
That's how we lost Kim Jones. I mean, Kim Jones, I thought was good. I thought she did a great job. I liked Kim Jones. She's smart. She's a smart sports. She has had a lot of sports knowledge. She does. I think she's smart when it comes to football. I think she likes football more.
I just want to talk about Heidi Watney more. Heidi Watney checks a lot of boxes for me, as you would know with my
like a couple shows in a row of checking
history
boxes.
Of blondes. Yeah. Well, she's hot, man. She's a good-looking woman. She's okay.
So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I just market the game, market the players. Like, he is 100% right. Everything that he said there was right. He looks like a guy you don't want to market. I mean, you could.
Sounds like a guy you don't want to market.
Because he sounds crazy, and he looks
nuts.
crazy. Like
he does.
He looks like he's, and
he is.
He's
crazy.
like wearing a tinfoil hat in his basement, and talking about this stuff. But he has all his points were valid. He looks like an idiot, but all his points were valid.
Yeah, they were.
And I will give him props for calling the MLB out on it because it's true. All of it's true. 100%.
That's true. It's true. And look, as much as I don't like bat flipping stuff, because, I'm more old school.
I love it.
I know you do.
I love it.
I don't.
I love getting hyped. Like, I like when people take a dunk and they or they score a touchdown, big celebrations. Have a good time.
I've never really appreciated that kind of thing.
I understand.
But, but I also do recognize.
But that's why it's fun, because a lot of players also don't like that. They don't appreciate it, which brings the back and forth on it, like the old school versus the new school, the bat flips and the people yelling at the people doing the bat. Like, that's what makes it fun.
Listen, and I have
as a wrestling fan, you should know.
I know.
And it makes it fun.
Well, see, but wrestling is fake.
It is.
I'm sorry. I have a hard time with making a correlation.
I like showing emotions. That's
I have a tough time with.
I used to love when Jabba used to strike
entertainment.
Wow!
No, I did like that too. I did, and I always felt like the Yankees neutered him a little.
Oh, they did, 100%.
And you're right. So I did like Jabba, and I guess it's because I don't mind like a fist pump. I just have never liked the bat tossing thing. That, I don't know, for some reason that has bothered. That's always kind of bothered me.
I wish they do stuff like that in golf too.
And I think it was just maybe because like when I played baseball, I don't know. I guess playing baseball in the 80s and early 90s and, growing up like that just wasn't part of the game then, And
they would drop the bat and go around the bases.
And, right. I don't know. And I always
sometimes they'd be excited and hold on to the bat for a little while and then drop it halfway or 3/4 up the line. But
I just appreciate that more. But however, I also recognize these are very different times and that, in order to properly market these sports to younger generations, because let's be honest, you're not marketing to me, a 40-something-year-old. You're marketing to kids who are 18 or under.
Yeah. And to be honest, I'd be more hyped about it too if there was more clips online.
See, now, you and I are as similar as we are, and we have a lot of things in common. We're also very different. Like, you want to see guys throw bats, and I don't. Yeah. Because when you see,
and then it will give us good talking points to talk about.
Well, see, like, you want to see a guy throw a bat, and then I want to see a pitcher throw at the batter for throwing his bat.
I would like that too. I think that's great too. I think it's all emotions. You're actually showing emotion.
Yeah, it is. Now, but that was an interesting point though that Michael K brought up with Tim Anderson yesterday. He's like, do you feel like part of the problem is like, so as a player, you get a big hit and you throw your bat, you get a walk-off home run, you throw your bat. But do you think that some of the life is being sucked out of the game because although maybe the players like it and the fans like it, the pitchers don't. And so the pitchers retaliate. And then next thing you know, then you're having to, get plunked. And Tim Anderson's like, well, yeah, I mean, that is part of the problem. It's like, so, I mean,
it's not a problem. You can either accept responsibility for throwing the bat and realize that you might rub somebody the wrong way, or don't do it. Like, that's it. Like, if you don't want to get hit, don't throw the bat. If you're nervous that you're going to get hit, don't throw the bat.
And a lot of times you hear like these batters, they'll, because the pitchers will, say, don't show me up like that kind of thing. And then a lot of times you hear the players say, well, don't put me in a position to. In other words, just get me out next time.
Yeah.
Well,
I might not get you out next time because I can't, because I'm not as good as you. So I might just hit you. That's fine.
Yeah,
and that's fine too. Just do it. Do whatever you got to do. Make them uncomfortable. I'm okay with all of it. I like the emotion side of sports. I wish, like I said, with golf, I wish like you would see Phil or Tiger or Bubba or Rory or Brooks step up to the tee on like the 9th hole. Yeah. Or the 8th hole, whatever, par 4, par 5 that comes out, and I want to see him whip one and knock it down the middle of the fairway, 350 yards, dead straight, and go, whoo! I want to see some emotion in these sports like that. Like, I don't want to see him hit the ball, stare at it, then hand the club to his caddy and walk down the. Like, I don't like that. I want to see some emotion other than just the putt on the 18th.
Yeah,
that's it. I want to see emotion.
Yeah. Now, other than. All right, so speaking of guys maybe getting plunked, I want to ask you this question. Do you feel like it does hurt?
I've had some huge bruises.
And I've had a few.
Seams, all that kind of.
I've had a few. I mean, at our age, younger, but you're getting hit by like 70-mile-an-hour pitches. But it's still, sorry, that ball comes. It hurts.
Yeah. I've been hit by 90+ mile-an-hour fastballs. It hurts.
Now, here's the one thing about baseball that I think is different.
You're wounded for a week or two.
Yeah. I would say baseball and hockey, because in football you kind of can't do this because penalty flags, but with baseball and hockey are really the two kind of sports where players really police themselves. And baseball maybe even more so than hockey, which is kind of hard to believe because the hockey, when you get out there, could be like the Wild West, Yeah. But with baseball, though, pitchers throw at batters for certain, for whatever. There's always retaliation in baseball. It's the unwritten rule. Now, here's the question I have for you. Mm-hmm. How bad is it going to be for the Houston Astros this year in terms of retaliation?
I bet we don't see much.
You think it'll be subdued?
I think because they're getting dragged through the mud so much in the media and like online, on blogs and everywhere. They're like us. I mean, everybody's kind of just dragging them through the mud. I think. So there's this thing, like I watch this. I've watched this show. It's been a long time, but I started watching it again. It's called Cougar Town. Funny show, sitcom, came out about 5-10 years ago.
It's the one about older women,
with
right?
Courtney Cox. It was with Courtney Cox and
yes. Oh wait, I watched Cougar Town.
It was funny. It was a funny.
I did love that show. Yeah. It was her and who was the
Phillips.
Yes.
And
who was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
Like the characters in there were great. Well, there was an episode where they talked about how they were going to punish one of the other characters, and they were going to punish them, and they said, we're going to punish you, but we're not going to tell you your punishment, and we're not going to tell you when we're going to do it. Mm-hmm. And the guy was like, what do you mean I have to sit here and wait for
was that the neighbor? What? Was that the neighbor through the window?
That was Bobby Cobb.
Oh, okay.
That was Bobby Cobb. So okay. they told him that, and he was like, what are you, you're not going to tell, I have to. And like, he just kept on like, what's my punishment? Tell me what my punishment is. Like, right. Part of that, and knowing in the back of your mind,
I think I remember that actually,
knowing in the back of your mind that the punishment is out there and is going to come and could potentially come anytime. Now, this is not necessarily with MLB punishing them and all that kind of stuff, but there's going to be a pitcher in a key moment.
Oh, there will be.
They have a good lead, and Altuve is going to get drilled. Absolutely drilled with a 99-mile-an-hour fastball right in the ribs, and he's going to be feeling that for a week and a half. And then there's going to be another time where, I don't know, somebody's going to come up. Verlander's going to come up to bat, and he's going to get drilled right in the
Yes.
ribs. And
That's what I want.
That's what's going to happen, and it's not going to happen all the time, but it's going to happen in key points. It's not going to happen the opening day, most likely. I don't think it could, depending on who's on the mound, but it's going to happen, and they're going to have it in the back of their minds. And it's going to be asked of them all year long. Are you guys cheating again? Are you guys cheating?
I am
especially
so
if they're winning,
disappointed.
especially if they're playing well.
The people I despise the most right now are the MLB schedule makers because they did not put the Astros in Yankee Stadium until the end of the season.
They did that on purpose. Again, covering things up.
Probably. But you know what, though? You're underestimating us as Yankee fans, Major League Baseball. If you think that just because you're pushing it to the end of the season when the Astros come into town, think again, pal. That's gonna be a nightmare scene.
Cheating, and especially towards the end of the season, it might even be worse.
It could be.
Pent-up energy.
It could be. Yeah, I mean, it could.
Unless
actually
the
could
Astros
backfire.
suck. If they're completely out of it,
I don't think that'll matter.
But if they suck, it won't be as. If they're good, it's gonna be pretty crazy.
Now, there is one other thing I wanted to bring up because speaking of the Yankees and Astros, I will give the Yankees I got to give them some credit. A high level of trolling yesterday.
Really?
Yes. On Thursday, September 3rd, which is actually right around the time when I think the Astros are in New York for that series. But the Yankees Staten Island team, the Staten Island Yankees, are hosting the Astros minor league team. And the giveaway is a mini trash can giveaway to the first 500 fans. The Staten Island Yankees.
Oh, minor league baseball is the best.
Oh, it is the best. Hosting the Valley Cats, which is the Houston Astros. I guess that's their Class A. Mini trash can giveaway.
Fantastic.
The first 500 fans will receive a miniature trash bin.
Could do something. They could learn something from these independent, like all these independent contractors, the people that own all these minor league teams.
Yeah.
Like they could learn something from these guys and how they market. Not necessarily getting,
I just want to say
garbage time, but like
that. I'm sorry.
They could learn something.
That's next level. That's next level trolling right
hilarious.
there.
That's the best.
That's really good stuff.
It's absolutely.
I'll tell you what. I would love to go to that game to get one of those.
Yep.
That's a tremendous souvenir. You know how hard it's actually going to be?
Fantastic.
Like, believe it or not, I mean, first of all, guaranteed great way to sell out. Mm-hmm. But you're going to get 500 fans lined up outside that building because they're going to want that. And I actually have a picture of it here if you would like to see what the trash can looks.
I would love it.
It's got the Y for the.
Oh yeah. Very nice.
There it is. Little mini trash can giveaway. I'm sure it's a dollar store plastic piece of shit, but hey, whatever. That thing's going to be on eBay for like a couple $100.
Most likely, yes. You got to wait for a little while for it to come down in price. Get one for the office.
Good for the Yankees.
Yeah. All right, so let's get on. We'll switch topics here. Let's get over to the sort side of things.
Where do you think you're going? I'm going to sort it out.
All right, we're going to sort it out. We're going to get into first thing up is Stranger Things trailer. Why don't you get into that, and then we'll get into the Sonic the Hedgehog.
There's not much to talk about. So, we all knew after the end of Stranger Things Season 3 that there was clearly going to be a Stranger Things Season 4, even though a lot of people, like myself included, were under the impression that Stranger Things Season 3 was the end. But then within that last couple minutes, at the last episode of Stranger Things, you got the impression that, oh, wait, there's more. And there is more. The Season 4 trailer, teaser trailer, is only about a minute long. Came out today, and it confirmed everything that we all thought. I won't say what, but it confirmed everything that we all thought we knew. Well, I guess I can't say it. Who cares? It's a teaser trailer. That Hop is alive and well, and apparently working on a railroad in Russia. So that means nothing to you, obviously. This is probably one of the weirdest things out of context that you've ever heard. But for Stranger Things fans, you know exactly what's going on. So very exciting. I so cannot wait for Season 4. I have no idea when it's going to be. It's probably like going to be 4 years from now because you know how Netflix is. But so check that trailer out. Pretty good. It confirmed everything that we thought we knew after season 3 ended, and I could probably not be more excited about season 4.
Excellent.
And I hope season 4 is not the end. I hope they do one more after that. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I haven't watched the show yet. I will eventually watch the show, probably when it's all complete.
It's an easy binge. It's an easy binge.
Yeah,
So.
So I'll eventually get to it for sure. All right, now I'm actually pulling up a screenshot right now of this. I think this is it. Oh, this is it. No, this is it. This is what I want to put in.
Do it.
All right, because I want to I want to show the score of the Rotten Tomatoes thing, so people don't think I'm lying. I'm not a liar. I'm not the Astros right now, but we will. I'm going to post it in a second.
I'm not the Astros right now. Hey.
All right, so the Rotten Tomato score is very good, and from all the stuff that I've been gathering on the internet, it seems to me like the score is going to be pretty darn good. The fans seem to like it a lot more than the critics, but the critics aren't far off. And here it is right now. Here it is. Oh no, what the heck is that? That's not what I was looking for. Get that out of there. What the heck is that? I don't even know what that is. MLB's payroll tracker? I don't want that. Where is that? Where did it happen? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. There it is.
Well, you see, what happened was...
I don't know why it's going to my desktop now.
What is that?
This is weird.
That's the MLB payroll tracker.
I don't even know why I took I know why I took a picture of that for last week when we were talking about stuff.
Yes.
But so here, I'll get it in just give me 1 second. This Dropbox keeps...
Wait for it!
Wait for it. All right, now it should be in there. All right, Dropbox is being annoying. It's not like capturing my screenshots right away like it should be. Like it logged me out for some reason. Weird. All right, so here we are. Now let's open this up, and it should be in there. What? Oh my god, this is so aggravating. Hello.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Starring James Marsden, who likes these kind of movies. Jim Carrey. Formerly of Liar Liar, Ace Ventura, and The Grinch. Jim Carrey is Dr. Robotnik.
Why? I put it in the wrong one.
James Marsden is that guy who stars in animated films.
I'm struggling, dude.
And Sonic the Hedgehog is a famous Sega Genesis character.
What are you reading?
I'm not reading anything. I'm just making shit up top of my head.
No, that's why. Put it in the wrong folder. I'm an idiot. Here we go. All right, there's the Rotten Tomatoes score. So right now, the critics, almost at 100 critics reviews, 65%. Audience score, 94%.
That's
tremendous. That is a tremendous thing. And from what I gather, it seems like Jim Carrey kind of steals the show, as he usually does in these kind of films. And then you also have, I guess, Sonic, pretty good. They had a good back and forth. The dialogue was good throughout.
Yeah.
And this is even the reviews that I'm catching like on YouTube and stuff like that they were, the movie is a lot better than they thought. So I wouldn't say I'm excited to go see it, but I am excited to take my kids to go see it, because if people are enjoying it, I want them to see Jim Carrey. Like they love, when he played the Grinch, they love him in movies like that. Like my son, did he watch? I had him watch another Jim Carrey. Oh, The Mask. He loved The Mask. Like they love his antics, and they should, because he's hilarious. Yes. So I am looking forward to seeing this movie with them, and I'm hoping that they get another installation. Oh, and he also saw Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. Like he's so good. He can be so good.
Alrighty then.
Bumblebee tuna. Guano.
Excuse me. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Do you
happen to have a mint? Perhaps some banaka?
Tone Loc, where'd you go?
Dude, I loved Tone Loc in that movie.
He's got greatest voice of all time.
He was so good in that movie.
Oh, he was.
Like I always
in that movie too. Speaking of, round it all out. Cougar
didn't
Town
Tone-
to Ace Ventura, the first one.
Why didn't
Pet
Tone
Detective.
Loc do more movies and TV? He's like, I thought he was a natural.
He was great. He was good. Maybe he just didn't want to. Maybe he didn't like it. Maybe he didn't like the process. It's not for everybody.
I just that scene though towards the end of Ace Ventura when you find out Finkel is Einhorn, and Tone Loc is just like.
They're all like Dan Marino, everybody. They're all doing. Oh, so great.
I mean, okay. See, Marino though, God bless him.
Isotoner gloves.
Not a good actor.
No.
He's
He was
not.
terrible. He was
I don't care.
he was like Brett Favre. Brett Favre and when Harry
Yeah,
something
right?
about
Just like-
Mary.
Yeah, just like really unnatural. But Tone Loc was like,
Oh, he's good. Well, he was a performer.
I know he is. I mean, you would think that Dan Marino with all those fucking Isotoner commercials he did in the '80s would be a little bit better, but
Yeah,
no.
they took him right from the Isotoner commercial. It was great.
They were like, hey, this guy does Isotoner commercials. He can act.
Yeah. Great. So good. All right. That's pretty much it for our show today.
You want a Funko Friday?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Sure.
I got a cool one actually. I just picked this one up recently. It was on clearance, which I kind of couldn't believe, but it was like $9. Check this out. You'll appreciate this.
Yeah.
This is called Comic Moments, Batman and Robin, and it is
Ooh. That was $9?
Yeah, $9. I got it over at GameStop. So it's got, like Adam West Robin and Burt, Adam West Batman and Burt Ward Robin, and it's really cool. Comic Moments. It's kind of, I know the glare is tough, but you can also here's a look. Here's a nice close up look of what they look like.
Yeah. No, that's a I've seen that Funko Pop before.
It's awesome.
I go into GameStop every once in a while. My son, gets stuff from there, and we have PlayStation.
GameStop
4,
is
so
weird.
sometimes-
Like
I bought Madden with him, so like
It's weird about GameStop is that in general they're not cheap, but occasionally you can find weird, odd stuff like that
Yeah.
that is actually pretty well priced. So
Yeah. GameStop is all right. I don't mind it. I wish they would revamp their stores. I wish they would change their stores a little bit, like make it a more user-friendly experience rather than just go there to buy games, because they can't keep up with the prices with Walmart and Amazon
Best Buy.
and all Best Buy. They can't keep up with it because they're a very large chain because they have a lot of stores, but they're not a big box thing. They can order these things in huge bulk in each store. So they have a lot of overhead, and I wish they would just make it a more user-friendly experience. Go in there and pay to play, the online games and stuff like that with people, and go there to have an experience with like tournaments and stuff. Like, I think that they would be better with doing stuff like that, and like cutting half their locations out. But that's just the investor side of me talking. So anyway, that's pretty much it for our show. We will be coming back on Monday, but not at 10. Next Monday will be a little bit later. I have to bring my car in for some auto body work, so I have to get a rental car and all that stuff and come home. And so we're trying to, because it's President's Day.
it is.
On Monday. You are off, right?
I am.
So
I'm off today too. Actually, I took a nice 4-day weekend because the kids are off. They have a 6-day weekend. They were off yesterday. They're off today. They're off Monday. They're off Tuesday.
Oh, see, my kids are off Monday and Tuesday next week. They didn't have anything today. So, so yeah, I will be taking the kids with me in that. So that's
Winter
why it's going to take a
vacation.
little bit longer than normal, because I'll have to make sure I get all the car seats all, hooked up and installed and everything like that. But so it'll be one of those things, but it'll be fun. And then we'll get our show on, and we'll get it on. Hopefully, we'll have something good to talk about over the weekend. Hopefully, it won't be so negative like it was today. I don't like just being completely negative. We ended it with a little positivity with the single the Stranger Things and Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, I'm glad we got a little positivity out there. And
I'm perfectly fine with this kind
and
of
your
negativity.
$9 pop, that was good. So we'll see you guys. If you have anything you want us to talk about, go ahead and put it in the comments after the show, during the show, whenever you want. We'll talk about it. And if you put it during the show, we put it on the screen. And then we try and tackle it. If it's a question or if it's a comment, we just kind of put it on there, and if it's anything that we want to talk about, we'll talk about it. So see you again Monday. Peace out.
You can find me on Twitter at _Bry_man.
You can't
How about
find me
you?
anywhere.
Oh.
I'm nowhere.
All right.
Instagram at Happy McAvoy, and on Twitter at Einhornersfinkel. I have two great names: Happy McAvoy, Happy Gilmore, Roy McAvoy, and then also Einhornersfinkel, because Finkel is Einhorn.
And now it's time for my sign off. As you know, we've reached the end of our program. And in the words of the great and immortal Tony Stark, part of the journey is the end. But we will be here on Monday. We'll see you next week. Stay classy, Planet Globe. Bye now.
I'm excited for this year's movies, man. There's a lot of good stuff coming out.
Yeah, we should
Lot of
maybe
good
do like a
Marvel
movie.
stuff.
Maybe we should do like a 2020 movie preview kind of episode.
Or maybe
maybe like
top
top
5
5 movies we're most
that
excited.
we're excited for. All right, I'm in for that.
Yeah, that's.
I'll have to look it up because I'm not really. I mean, there's so many that are.
I mean, I'll have to look. I couldn't give you any off the top of my head just yet. But I probably could give you like 1 or 2.
I'm not
but,
that excited for the Black Widow movie.
You know, I'm not either. I want to be more excited for it, but I don't actually think that would make my top 5. Strangely enough.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Like I want to see it. I'm sure it'll be good because they usually just are. But I don't know. Like those previews for it have not blown me away. I'm not like, oh man, I gotta go see that. Looks good. Looks solid.
Solid. Yeah, it looks fine. It looks like a Marvel movie, but a little bit dark, a little darker. But they always do that in the trailers, so it'll probably be jokes galore and a lot of action, fun stuff, you know. But yeah.
All right, everybody, have a good weekend. We'll see you later. Bye. Bye.
Peace out. See you next Monday at 10-ish. Might be a
This
really
is
extended.
WSNS, and we're out of here. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.